A freestanding Pisa Tower is located in the city of Pisa, Italy, attracting millions of tourists for years. Though it's just a reproduction of the medieval ages, the tower was declared as one of the seven wonders of the world, not just for its exceptional Romanesque architecture or its sheer size. It's mainly for its miraculous lean while holding still on the spongy ground against many odds, seem to defy the law of physics. Hence, it's one of the seven wonders. The tower was originally built as a bell tower for the nearby Pisa Cathedral in the 12th century. The first four stories were built between 1173 to 1178. During the construction, the tower started leaning. The work was stopped. Exactly after a century, from 1272 to 1278, the remaining floors were added up. The tower kept leaning and the work was stopped again. The construction was completed with the bell tower only after 80 years. However, due to the soft ground on which it was built, the 57-meter high tower began to lean on one side all along its construction, with a final inclination of about 3.9 degrees off the vertical. Efforts were made to correct the tilt, but only to make the situation worse. Hi, I am Hilal Alam from ALZEBRA. Come, let us see how it was restored and why is it called the wonder of the world. One fine morning on March 17, 1989, the Civic Tower, located next to Pavia Cathedral in Italy, collapsed suddenly. The tower was constructed in 11th century and had a rectangular shape standing at the height of 72 meters. The collapse resulted in a mass of brick, sand and granite rubble measuring 8,000 cubic meters. Sadly, 4 people lost their lives while 15 others sustained injuries. Although some of the tower's components are exhibited in the Castello Visconteo of the city, it's not been reconstructed. Following the collapse of the Civic Tower, the Italian government took precautionary measures to assess the safety of other historical structures in the country. As a result, on 7th January 1990, the Leaning Tower of Pisa was temporarily closed to the public due to the concern that it too may be at risk of collapse. Throughout the years, the Leaning Pisa Tower had been gradually leaning at the rate of about 1 millimeter annually. By the late 80s, it had tilted to a precarious angle and there was growing concern that it might collapse at any moment. Computer models projected that the tower should have toppled over when it reached a tilt of 5.44 degrees. However, by 1990, the tower was still standing, leaning at an angle of 5.5 degrees. The seventh level was protruding out by 4.5 meters, creating a potentially dangerous situation. In 1990, the Italian government formed a committee of 13 experts to develop a strategy to rescue the Leaning Tower of Pisa from the brink of collapse. The group was headed by the renowned British engineering specialist John Burland, who had gained a reputation for his expertise in soil mechanics and ground engineering. Professor Burland told Scientific American, released in November 30, 2018, that no matter how many calculations they made, the tower should not have been standing at all. The height and weight, coupled with the porous soil, meant it should have fallen centuries ago. Over the next several years, the team conducted extensive research and testing to come up with an innovative plan that should stabilize the tower's foundation and prevent it from collapsing. After Berland's team developed the plan to save the Leaning Pisa Tower, the restoration work began in 1992. During the restoration process, the project team also uncovered a surprising phenomenon. They found that the tower tended to tilt more during the winter season when the water table on one side was higher than the opposite due to heavy rainfall. This increased pressure leading to greater tilt. Professor Burland explains that the leaning is nothing to do with the lack of uniformity of the soft soil or the design of the tower, but how compressible is the tower on the soft soil. It's like you cannot keep a tall object on a sponge forever. It will overturn with a small perturbation. When a building like the Pisa Tower grows higher, how much of a stretch it is, a small perturbation is sufficient to shift its center of gravity. This will develop overturn moment to lean the tower. To address the issue of the tower's sinking foundation, Berland's team embarked on a meticulous process of removing soil from beneath one side of the tower's base. They would extract about 20 liters of soil at a time and install tunnels and wells to drain the water that was causing the soil to remain wet and base to sink. Ultimately, the team had to remove around 2 lorry loads of soil to correct the foundation. After stabilizing the foundation, the engineers faced the challenge of reducing the tower's tilt. To do this, they strategically placed lead weight on the north side of the tower and removed tons of soil from underneath the building using corkscrew drills. The team attached metal rings around the fifth floor of the tower to stabilize it further. This was necessary because the floor had cracked during the repair work. They then used steel cables to attach heavy weights on the opposite side of the tower. The goal was to help settle the building into the newly drained foundation and reduce the risk of further damage or collapse. By June 2000, the tilt had been corrected by 16 cm, returning the tower to the angle it was in 1870. When all was done on 6 June 2001, the tower had straightened 38 cm, bringing it to the same inclination it had in 1838. The slope had been reduced to just under 5 degrees. It reopened to the public in 2001. A 2013 study found that the bell is stable but tending to straighten, and it had moved a further 2.5 cm vertically since 2001. It's fascinating to note that engineers regularly monitor the Leaning Tower of Pisa's tilt to ensure its stability. In 2018, they made an exciting announcement that the tower had been self-correcting for more than 10 years and had finally stopped tilting further. Given that, Berland says that he doesn't expect it to ever be completely straight, because shortly after the construction began in 1173, the tower had begun to lean noticeably. Engineer Bonino Pisano, who designed the tower, sought to correct it by simply curving it upward as the builders continued. They made pillars on the 3rd and 8th floor taller one side. It's like a banana, Berland says, and the thing was never straight. Based on the projected soil condition and the quality of the stone, engineers estimate that the tower should remain stable for the next 200 years before it requires any further intervention. It's incredible to think that this architectural marvel had stood for over 800 years and continues to fascinate people from all over the world. The Leaning Tower of Pisa has become a significant cultural icon and a symbol of Italian heritage. Despite of its initial engineering flaws, the tower's unintended tilt has become its defining feature, attracting millions of tourists from around the world who come to marvel at its unique lean. It has become a potent symbol of human ingenuity and determination, and a testament to the power of human perseverance in face of adversity. Thank you very much. We will meet in the next video. Till then, bye.